welcoming you back to the desk of Caddicarus. Join us as we partake into a new installment of Current Quickies.
Hello, my duckies, and this time we're going to be having a look at Killzone Shadowfall. Hey! Wait a second. I'm sorry I stopped everything. I just gotta show you something pretty fat and gorgeous. Look at these things.
Yes, everybody, before the review can commence, I just had to quickly say that on RadioArcade.com right now, there are some brand spanking new t-shirts designed by the same guy that did the Hideo freaking Kojima one. So after seeing what all of you guys wanted to see on a shirt, you got it in the end, so that's just fucking great. But wait, what's this now? What the fuck? Yes, along with the t-shirt, you can also grab yourself this limited and exclusive bundle with this amazing poster of a quote from my Jaws Unleashed review that everyone also wanted to see. And that one is about those sharks. And again, this was all made by this awesome guy down here. Please do look him up because he does do requests and commissions. Everything you need to know is in the description right now, including a direct link to this awesome bundle. It's well priced, it's shipped internationally, and it's for 1 month only. So after this video is up, don't forget to go and check it out right now. Thanks again and enjoy everything and shit.
Anyway, Killzone Shadowfall. This game here is alright, I guess.
When it comes to Killzone, I will admit that I've never actually played the others, except for the multiplayer of the first game. I was really hoping to give Killzone a truly great first go, so I waited and then went with the next-gen series outing to lose my virginity. But then there were mixed opinions all over the board about this self-proclaimed epic FPS, and then I felt like I needed to cover it after beating it.
So then I read up all of the previous game's story and history, researched everything that I could, and then I went and tackled this supposed epic installment just to see what everything was all about. But the question is, how was it then? Well...
This game was a little bit off. Killzone Shadowfall is probably one of the most glaring definitions of all flash and not much substance. And where there are some very great hitting moments in this package, these can be very quickly diminished by the not so great missing moments. But I'll divulge more about that stuff later and talk about the good stuff. And fuck me, this game is beautiful! Without a doubt, this game certainly looks next gen without question, and it's jumped into my top 5 best looking console games of all time. The world that Guerrilla have created is just so fucking huge, oozing with detail, infinitely scoped, and absolutely jaw-dropping in some parts. And it's simply a gorgeously realized world. This is all backed up by the immense smoothness of the game, which makes each environment an absolute joy to run around, explore, and shoot stuff down in. Speaking of which, another joyful thing is actually the gameplay itself. The guns feel fantastic to use, blasting through everyone and winning mass attacks is really satisfying, the enemy AI is good enough to keep you horrifically pumped from start to finish, the controls and motion effects are perfectly springy, and the little companion owl that you command with the DualShock 4 touchpad adds a surprising amount of depth and strategy to surviving the relentless onslaught of enemies. And in most of the game, there's a big freedom to how you can approach some situations. This game forces you to stay focused, keep moving to different cover spots, grab other guns and shoot everything you see. And since you die pretty damn quickly, there are tons of parts of the game where you're right on the edge of your seat, which I found really enjoyable and addicting. Also, the DualShock 4 integration gave me lots of enjoyment, like keeping the health status colors on the light bar, the earlier mentioned owl being commanded by the touchpad, and every audio log that you pick up is spoken through the controller's pretty damn good speaker, giving a great sense of real authenticity and strong atmosphere for some of the darker areas of the game. The campaign is pretty lengthy, the difficulty is pretty damn tough yet forgiving, the level design is great fun, and the multiplayer is very good to boot. So overall, for an action-packed FPS, it was really fucking solid, and I had lots of fun with it.
Now, despite all of that stuff, I did find a fair bit wrong with this game.
My main complaint with this game is the fucking story. It's simply not interesting and I do not care what anyone else says. That's a lie, it's only my opinion at the end of the day. But yes, after researching every other plot detail about the universe of Killzone, the potential epic continuation from those previous stories and how everything ends up just so horrifically tense should have been humongous. But like I said, absolutely nothing that actually happens is interesting at all. There are some really powerful scenes that are presented to you, but other than the visual spectacle, the impact of the game's supposedly serious events just do not match up to the size of what actually happened in terms of the Killzone chronology. And the deep and complex subject matters that the game tries to cover are handled extremely sloppily due to a very bland script and extremely generic characters that may as well be cardboard cutouts. The messages and issues it puts forward also end up ultimately confused and very messy, and it's definitely more about the blockbuster appeal than anything memorable and long-lasting. I mean, the audio logs that you pick up through the game are really cool and it gives the universe a lot more thick history, as well as provide some brilliantly dramatic monologues to the dark and gruesome events that happened in the past. But at the end of the day, it's all just pointless fluff and it adds to absolutely nothing at all. And that can be almost said for any and all collectibles in the game, most of which being really uninteresting and bland. And that then almost provides you no need to properly explore this expertly crafted next-gen world. And as for the gameplay itself, while it is an absolute blast to play, it could have been refined only slightly. You'll find that there are only a few guns that actually have any major effect in most of the battles, and I actually beat the entire game using 2 or 3 different weapons. But saying that, there isn't much of a variety of weapons to find anywhere anyway. And the same can be said for the enemy types, which, where a decent enough challenge, are pretty limited in terms of diversity, and it just left me wanting more. However, I still think that this game was alright. Considering the main aspect of this game was the shooting, and the shooting was done brilliantly, it kept me interested enough to persevere, and I had so much fun with it in the right places, not to mention beating the chapters just to see what other spectacular set pieces I'd come across. And if this is the start for next-gen console shooters, I have really high hopes, because the tech and the promise is there and glorious. And I reckon that using all of the controller integrations and speaker systems, visual brilliance, tight shooting, and unbeatable smoothness into a new BioShock game, for example, would be a fucking incredible idea, so yeah, make that shit happen, please. This game may not be quite there, but the potential for future console shooters and maybe even PS4 exclusive shooters is fucking loud and fucking clear, and I still really had a large bit of fun with it. And not to mention, despite all the bad stuff I said about this game earlier, if you really want to see what the PS4 can truly do, then just pop this game in and have a go with it.
I'll give this game a pretty average 6 out of 10.
And if this is the start for next gen